My name's Macdonald, and my colleague, Professor David Barrows, and I initiated this program 2 years ago in awareness of the many changes that were going on in government, what we were hearing about the needs of the public service, and our own perception of what was required. I think it goes without saying, since that time, the new role of government and the new requirements for government in the present economy make it even more important than ever. So the program is a joint venture with Deloitte. It involves a number of significant topics. It involves a number of external facilitators along with our own input.
We begin by talking about global trends in public management so that we understand that we're not alone. These are trends that are happening around the world, but with specific reference, of course, to the Canadian situation. We then talk about critical thinking, and so the new skills that are required to really get to root causes, to understand what's really happening so that we don't come up with just superficial responses, but really dig down deep to find out what's really going on. Leadership and stewardship. Stewardship is around how do we manage resources? How do we work with stakeholders? How do we work with other people? And so that we're not in an environment of scarcity, but we're in an environment which is really resource rich when we look at all of the potential people that we can work with in the system as stakeholders. Strategic performance. How do we get from strategy to action? This is all around execution. And so grand plans are fine, and we need to understand those, but we then need to move into action. And how do we make that happen? How do we execute properly to ensure that we get the job done in an environment of challenging opportunities? Policy execution and implementation. How do we develop policies? How do we design them? And how do we implement them effectively? How do we monitor them and evaluate them to make sure that they're effective? And then the remedial work that's necessary to make whatever changes may be required. Managing strategic partnerships and alliances. More and more now we find that we're working with other people in the design, development, and delivery of public programs. The management of those relationships becomes critical. It's not simply a top-down command and control performance. We now need to establish relationships, networks, alliances, which allow us to do this work efficiently and effectively. Appreciative leadership. Appreciative leadership, then, is a new way of thinking about leadership and leadership development, and it's around the notion that we build on the successes that we have. So what is working now for us, and how can we take that and then build on that and then move forward? Learning, executive learning, really requires action and action-oriented activities. And we do that in two fronts. One is looking at group work. And so groups form autonomously to examine challenges, and then we report on those at the end of the session, as well individual action plans. What will you do specifically as a result of the program that we've taken in order to make things more efficient and more effective at your place of business?